is the biggest investments you make really are in people. And typically you cannot reap from something where you sowed nothing. You cannot have a harvest when you planted no seeds. You cannot get something that you did not, you cannot receive a return when you did not make an investment. And so the biggest question I would ask anybody is what are you investing in? Where are you making a sacrifice on a daily basis that you believe at some point is going to give you a return? And here's the thing, like, and when you talk about kids, it's funny. People act like thinking about kids in an ROI kind of framework is somehow overly transactional. Maybe it is. Maybe that's an accurate accusation, but we're talking about real life here. We're talking about real life. And I had, in my bias is my parents were practical. They were clear, like, yeah, like, we're taking care of you when we get older. We'd like for you to do the same for us. Right? They didn't say like we're doing all this stuff for you and we never want nothing from you. No, there's a point where you're gonna need something. There was a point where my parents needed us. And they didn't want to need us, but they did. And we showed up for them. And when my mother was profusely thanking me for stuff and my father thanked me for paying off the house and all that, I was like, no, 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 this is not a gift. I'm not doing this just to be nice. This is your return on your investment. I wasn't even your biological son. You had no obligation to me whatsoever. There are millions of men out here that would have called you a dummy for taking care of another man's child, and you did it anyway. So look at me, just you might as well call me ROI because that's what I am. I'm a return on investment. Because I know when I was a teenager, I was hard to deal with. When I was in elementary school, I was hard to deal with, right? You were 25 years old trying to raise a baby from some other dude. A lot of guys think that that's flat out stupid. So, so me doing this for you, in my view, is a result of the actions that you took. And because not only did you gear me to care enough about you to do that, but also you trained me to be in a position where I could even do it. Sometimes loving kids, people don't understand loving kids. Sometimes it doesn't involve training and disciplining them. My father gave me a lot. He was a tough man for sure, but he gave me training and discipline so I could fight through and get the PhD. My sister could fight through and get through medical school. We would fight through and save our money and invest and build businesses and all these other things. And then when mama's sick on her deathbed, nobody had to leave because they had to go to work that day. We didn't say like, hey mama, I would come sit with you on your deathbed, but the plane tickets are so expensive. No, we got on a plane, we sat next to mama for the last 8 weeks of her life because that was the most important thing in the world. And ain't no boss gonna tell me I can't do that.